Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of your own potential, an immense untapped reservoir of who you could become. But instead of forging ahead, instead of honing your skills and strengthening your mind, you are distracted. You are consumed by the noise of the world, by the opinions of others, by comparisons, by meaningless chatter that does nothing but dilute your focus. And here's the problem. Every moment spent indulging in that noise is a moment stolen from your own growth. You have a limited amount of time, energy, and discipline. If you squander it on trivialities, on proving yourself to people who don't matter, on responding to every insignificant comment, on seeking validation instead of competence, you sacrifice the person you could become. The solution? Focus on yourself. Sharpen your mind like a blade. Work in silence. Let your actions demonstrate your value rather than your words. Because real transformation doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the quiet hours, in the disciplined moments, in the solitude where you forge yourself into something stronger. So today, let's talk about reclaiming your focus. Let's talk about the power of silence. And let's talk about how you can step out of the noise and step into the person you were meant to be. Silence is not merely the absence of noise. It is a tool, a weapon, and a discipline. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, where opinions fly around like arrows in a chaotic battlefield, the ability to remain silent is a demonstration of power. Those who understand this principle recognize that silence is not weakness. It is controlled strength. Strength. When you remain silent, you refuse to react impulsively. You do not allow the outside world to dictate your emotions or actions. Instead, you become an observer, a strategist, someone who thinks before speaking, acts before announcing, and moves forward without unnecessary distractions. The modern world thrives on constant noise. Social media, news, conversations, gossip, criticism. Everywhere you look, there is an unrelenting demand for attention. People feel the need to justify themselves, to defend their every move, to explain their actions to those who do not even have a stake in their journey. This is a dangerous trap. The more you engage with unnecessary chatter, the more you dilute your energy. Your focus should not be on proving yourself to others, but on proving yourself to yourself. There is immense power in holding back, in not reacting emotionally to every opinion thrown your way. The ability to remain composed while others waste their energy on fruitless arguments is a sign of true strength. Consider those who have achieved mastery in their fields. If they do not waste their time in senseless debates or meaningless validation seeking. Instead, they operate in silence, working tirelessly on their craft, perfecting their skills behind the scenes. When they finally emerge, their work speaks for itself. They do not need to announce their greatness. It is evident. This is the essence of power through silence. When you refrain from boasting, when you do not feel the need to explain yourself at every turn, you create an aura of mystery and respect. People begin to take you seriously, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. There is a psychological advantage to silence. Those who speak less are perceived as more thoughtful and intelligent. When you choose your words carefully, people listen when you finally decide to speak. But if you talk excessively, your words lose value. They become just another voice in the crowd, blending into the background noise of constant chatter. If you cultivate the habit of speaking only when necessary, you gain control over how others perceive you. Your words carry weight because they are rare and deliberate. Silence also strengthens the mind. When you are constantly speaking, you are externalizing your thoughts without fully processing them. But in silence, you allow your mind to work through complex ideas. You develop clarity, a deeper understanding of situations, and the ability to see things from multiple perspectives. This is why great thinkers, leaders, and innovators value solitude. They recognize that in order to produce meaningful work, they must first engage in deep, uninterrupted thought. The greatest breakthroughs in history did not emerge from people who were constantly distracted by noise. They came from those who could sit in silence, think critically, and focus intensely on their goals. Emotional control is another crucial aspect of silence. When you react emotionally to every situation, you become predictable and easy to manipulate. Those who cannot control their words reveal too much, whether it is their fears, insecurities, or strategies. On the other hand, those who maintain silence hold the advantage. They are unreadable, difficult to provoke, and always in control. This is particularly important in high-stakes situations, whether in business, personal relationships, or competitive environments. If you master the art of silence, you gain the ability to navigate challenges with a level head, making decisions based on logic rather than emotion. In silence, you also learn to listen. Most people hear only to respond, waiting for their turn to speak rather than absorbing what is being said. But true listening is an art. It allows you to gather information, understand others deeply, and anticipate their next moves. When you are silent, you gain insight into the minds of those around you. You observe their body language, their tone, their intentions. This makes you a better strategist, a better communicator, and ultimately a more powerful individual. Many people mistake silence for submission. They assume that speaking loudly, arguing persistently, or constantly making their presence known is a sign of confidence. But real confidence does not need to be announced. It exists independently of external validation. The most self-assured individuals do not waste time proving themselves. They are too busy improving themselves. They understand that silence is a form of self-respect. It means you do not owe explanations to those who do not contribute to your growth. It means you are secure in your path and do not need permission from the world to walk it. When you train yourself to embrace silence, you eliminate distractions. You eliminate distractions. You stop engaging in meaningless conversations that drain your energy. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to those who will never understand your vision. You detach from the chaos of external noise and turn inward, focusing on your progress, your discipline, and your goals. Your discipline and your goals. This is where true transformation happens. Not in the opinions of others, not in endless debates, but in the quiet, focused hours where real work is done. Discipline is the foundation of success. It is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. In a world filled with distractions, it is easy to lose focus, to become consumed by things that do not contribute to growth, and to waste precious time on activities that serve no purpose. Without discipline, focus is impossible, and without focus, progress is merely an illusion. The ability to control one's impulses, to resist distractions, and to remain dedicated to a goal is what allows individuals to rise above mediocrity. Discipline is not an inherent trait. It is cultivated through conscious effort, through daily habits, and through an unwavering commitment to self-improvement. The modern world is designed to pull attention in 1,000 different directions. Social media, entertainment, instant gratification. Each of these forces works against the ability to remain disciplined. The temptation to check notifications, to scroll endlessly, to indulge in distractions is ever present. Every moment spent on these fleeting pleasures is a moment taken away from the pursuit of something meaningful. Success does not come to those who chase distractions. It comes to those who can delay gratification, who can endure temporary discomfort for long-term achievement. Discipline is the ability to say no to what is easy and yes to what is necessary. The greatest achievements in history were not accomplished by those who sought comfort. They were achieved by those who understood that discipline requires sacrifice. Sacrifice of leisure, sacrifice of convenience, sacrifice of momentary pleasure. Those who wish to master their craft, to build something of value, to become someone of significance, understand that success demands discipline above all else. The athlete who trains before sunrise, the entrepreneur who works while others sleep, the artist who refines their skill in solitude, each of them knows that progress is built on consistency. Discipline is not an occasional act. It is a way of life. It is not something that is practiced only when motivation is high or when circumstances are favorable. It is something that must be exercised daily regardless of external conditions. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. But discipline is permanent. It does not rely on feelings or moods. It is a commitment to action, a refusal to make excuses, a dedication to continuous improvement, the ability to work even when one does not feel like it is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stagnant. Discipline is also the ability to set priorities. There are always countless demands for attention, but not all tasks are of equal importance. The disciplined individual understands the difference between what is urgent and what is essential. They do not allow trivial matters to consume their time. They focus on what truly matters, on the actions that move them forward. This requires a high level of self-awareness, the ability to recognize what is valuable and what is merely a distraction in disguise. Without this clarity, it is easy to fall into the trap of busyness rather than productivity. One of the greatest enemies of discipline is procrastination. The tendency to delay important tasks, to seek comfort in avoidance, to put off what needs to be done. Procrastination is the killer of potential. It robs individuals of progress, keeping them trapped in cycles of inaction. The disciplined mind does not entertain excuses. It understands that the perfect moment does not exist, that waiting for ideal conditions is a waste of time. Action must be taken now, not later. The longer one waits, the more difficult it becomes to start. Discipline is also about self-control, the ability to regulate emotions, to resist temptations, to stay committed, even when challenges arise. Many people give up at the first sign of difficulty. They allow setbacks to discourage them, to break their momentum. But true discipline means continuing even in the face of adversity. It means understanding that failure is a part of the process, that obstacles are not reasons to stop, but opportunities to grow. The most disciplined individuals do not see failure as defeat. They see it as a lesson, as a necessary step on the path to mastery. There is a direct link between discipline and confidence. When an individual consistently follows through on their commitments, they build trust in themselves. They no longer need external validation because they know they can rely on their own efforts. Confidence is not built through words, it is built through action. Every time a person keeps a promise to themselves, every time they push through resistance, every time they choose discipline over distraction, they reinforce their own belief in their capabilities. This is what creates true self-assurance. The knowledge that one has done the work, that one has earned their success. Discipline also brings freedom. While it may seem restrictive at first, true freedom comes from having control over one's actions. The undisciplined individual is a slave to impulse, to temptation, to external influences. They are controlled by their environment rather than controlling their own destiny. But the disciplined individual has mastery over their choices. They do not react impulsively, they act intentionally. This control allows them to build the life they desire, to achieve their goals without being derailed by distractions or temporary pleasure. Energy is one of the most valuable resources a person has, yet it is often spent carelessly. Every day, individuals wake up with a limited supply of mental, emotional, and physical energy, and how that energy is used determines the quality of their lives. Many people waste their energy on things that bring no real value, on meaningless arguments, on worrying about things beyond their control, on distractions that offer no real progress. They pour their efforts into impressing others, reacting to every opinion, and engaging in activities that drain them rather than fuel them. When energy is misused, it leads to exhaustion, frustration, and a lack of accomplishment. The ability to direct energy with purpose is what separates those who achieve great things from those who remain stuck in cycles of stagnation. There is a cost to everything a person engages in, whether it is an interaction, a task, or a thought pattern. Some activities fuel the mind and body, providing strength and clarity, while others drain and deplete. Many people fail to recognize this distinction and, as a result, end up spending their energy on things that offer no return. They engage in gossip, entertain toxic relationships, obsess over criticism, and allow negativity to consume their mental space. They give their time and energy to people who do not appreciate it, to situations that do not require their involvement, and to habits that bring no growth. The result is burnout, dissatisfaction, and a feeling of being stuck despite constant effort. One of the biggest energy drains is unnecessary conflict. People often engage in arguments that have no real purpose, seeking to prove a point rather than seeking understanding. They spend hours debating with those who have no intention of changing their views, allowing frustration and resentment to build. Every argument, every heated discussion, every moment spent trying to change someone else's perception is a moment of energy lost. The most effective individuals understand that not every battle is worth fighting. They choose to invest their energy in things that contribute to their progress rather than wasting it on proving themselves to others. Another significant drain on energy is excessive worry. Many people spend an enormous amount of mental effort worrying about the future, replaying past mistakes, and obsessing over things beyond their control. This constant mental noise consumes energy that could be directed toward taking action. Worry does not solve problems. It only amplifies them in the mind. The ability to recognize what is within one's control and what is not is a crucial skill in energy management. Those who learn to let go of unnecessary worries free themselves to focus on what truly matters. Distractions are another major thief of energy. The modern world is filled with endless sources of distraction, from social media to mindless entertainment to the constant influx of information. Every notification, every interruption, every moment spent consuming irrelevant content takes away from the energy that could be used productively. Many people start their day with good intentions but find themselves drained by midday, not because they worked hard, but because they allowed distractions to scatter their focus. The ability to set boundaries, to limit exposure to distractions, and to engage in deep, focused work is what allows individuals to make meaningful progress. Toxic relationships also drain energy in ways that many fail to recognize. Being around people who are negative, critical, or manipulative takes a toll on mental and emotional well-being. Constantly trying to please others, seeking approval, or dealing with those who bring nothing but stress leaves a person exhausted. The most effective individuals are selective about where they invest their energy. They surround themselves with people who uplift, who challenge them to grow, and who respect their time and effort. The ability to walk away from draining relationships is not selfish. It is necessary for self-preservation. Physical energy is just as important as mental energy. Many people underestimate the impact of poor habits on their ability to stay focused and productive. Lack of sleep, poor diet, and a sedentary lifestyle all contribute to decreased energy levels. When the body is neglected, the mind suffers as well. Those who prioritize their physical health through exercise, rest, and proper nutrition find that they have more energy to dedicate to their goals. A strong body supports a strong mind, and neglecting either leads to diminished performance. Decision fatigue is another hidden drain on energy. Every decision, no matter how small, requires mental effort. When a person spends their day making countless unnecessary choices, what to wear, what to eat, what task to prioritize, they deplete their energy without realizing it. The most productive individuals simplify their lives by reducing unnecessary decisions. They create routines, set clear priorities, and eliminate trivial choices so that they can focus their energy on what truly matters. The ability to protect energy is one of the most important skills a person can develop. It requires discipline, awareness, and the willingness to say no to things that do not serve a greater purpose. Many people live in a constant state of exhaustion, not because they are working too hard, but because they are not directing their energy efficiently. Those who master the art of energy management find themselves accomplishing more with less effort, experiencing greater satisfaction, and moving forward in life with clarity and purpose. Mastery is not an accident. It does not happen by chance or through occasional effort. It is the result of deliberate practice, intense focus, and the ability to work in solitude. In a world where everyone seeks quick success and instant recognition, the truth remains unchanged. Greatness is built in the quiet moments, away from the spotlight, in the hours where no one is watching. Those who achieve true mastery understand that the most important work is done alone, in silence, without applause or validation. They commit themselves to improvement, not for the sake of external approval, but because they recognize the power of consistent, disciplined effort. There is an illusion that success is the result of talent alone, that those who excel are simply gifted with extraordinary ability. But talent without discipline is wasted potential. Many people with natural skill never reach their full capability because they fail to put in the necessary work. The greatest athletes, artists, thinkers, and innovators did not rely solely on their gifts. They spent countless hours refining their craft, making mistakes, learning, and improving. They understood that mastery requires patience, that skill is built over time, and that true growth happens in solitude, where there are no distractions and no need for validation. The modern world is filled with distractions that make deep focus difficult. Social media, endless entertainment, and the constant demand for attention pull people away from meaningful work. Many individuals struggle to concentrate for extended periods because they have become accustomed to quick bursts of stimulation. They seek instant gratification rather than long-term fulfillment. But mastery demands a different approach. It requires the ability to disconnect, to embrace solitude, and to dedicate time to uninterrupted, focused practice. Those who understand this do not waste their energy seeking approval from others. They do not announce their efforts or wait for motivation. They simply do the work day after day, knowing that progress is a slow but rewarding process. The process of mastery involves failure, frustration, and setbacks. Many people give up too soon because they expect results to come quickly. They become discouraged when they do not see immediate improvement, assuming that they are not capable. But those who achieve excellence understand that failure is part of the journey. They do not fear mistakes. They learn from them. They use every setback as an opportunity to refine their skills, to correct their weaknesses, and to push themselves further. They recognize that mastery is built through perseverance, through the ability to endure discomfort and continue working even when progress seems invisible. Working in solitude also builds mental resilience. When a person spends time alone, focusing deeply on their craft, they develop the ability to rely on themselves. They no longer need external motivation because they have built an internal drive. Many people struggle with consistency because they depend on others to push them forward. They look for encouragement, for validation, for a reason to keep going. But those who are truly committed to mastery do not need outside reinforcement. They have trained themselves to show up and do the work, regardless of circumstances. Their dedication comes from within, not from the approval of others. Solitude also fosters creativity. In a world filled with noise, where opinions and trends dictate the actions of many, it is difficult to think independently. Many people consume more than they create, spending their time absorbing the thoughts of others rather than developing their own ideas. But those who embrace solitude give themselves the space to think deeply, to explore new possibilities, and to create something original. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history came from individuals who spent time alone, away from distractions, allowing their minds to process ideas in an uninterrupted way. The ability to work in silence also creates an element of unpredictability. When a person is constantly announcing their plans, seeking recognition before they have accomplished anything, they give away their advantage. But those who move quietly, who build their skills in private, who let their work speak for itself, develop an aura of strength. They do not need to prove anything through words because their actions demonstrate their capabilities. When they finally reveal what they have been working on, it is undeniable. Their results speak louder than any announcement could. The path to mastery is not easy. Not easy. It requires discipline, patience, and the ability to endure long periods of solitude. Many people avoid this path because it is difficult, because it requires sacrifice, because it demands more than most are willing to give. But those who commit to it, who understand that true excellence is built in silence, who are willing to put in the work without immediate reward, ultimately achieve what others cannot. Emotional control is one of the most powerful skills a person can develop. It is the ability to remain calm, focused, and rational regardless of external circumstances. Those who lack emotional control are easily manipulated, reactive, and incapable of making sound decisions under pressure. They allow their emotions to dictate their actions, leading to impulsive choices, unnecessary conflicts, and wasted energy. In contrast, those who master their emotions maintain clarity, even in the most challenging situations. They do not let anger, fear, frustration, or doubt overpower their judgment. Instead, they remain composed, disciplined, and in control of their responses. In today's world, people are constantly bombarded with information, opinions, and provocations designed to trigger emotional reactions. Social media, news, and even personal interactions often push individuals toward outrage, anxiety, or defensiveness. Many fall into this trap, allowing themselves to be emotionally controlled by external forces. They react without thinking, engage in meaningless debates, and waste mental energy on things that do not contribute to their growth. But those who understand the importance of emotional control do not allow themselves to be pulled into unnecessary drama. They recognize when something is not worth their time or energy, and they choose to disengage rather than react impulsively. One of the most dangerous emotions to fall victim to is anger. While anger can sometimes be a motivating force, it is often destructive when left unchecked. Many people destroy relationships, make poor decisions, or damage their reputations because they allow anger to control them. They lash out, say things they regret, and act in ways that do not align with their long-term goals. Those who have emotional control, however, do not allow anger to dictate their actions. They take a step back, assess the situation logically, and respond in a way that is measured and effective, rather than impulsive and reckless. Fear is another emotion that holds many people back from reaching their full potential. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of uncertainty prevent individuals from taking action, from pursuing their goals, and from stepping outside their comfort zones. Those who lack emotional control allow fear to paralyze them, keeping them stuck in the same place, unwilling to take risks or push themselves beyond their limits. But those who master their emotions understand that fear is not something to be avoided. It is something to be faced. They acknowledge their fears, but they do not allow them to dictate their choices. They act despite fear, knowing that growth and success require stepping into the unknown. Another common emotional trap is seeking validation from others. Many people base their self-worth on external approval, constantly looking for praise, attention, and recognition. When they do not receive it, they feel insecure, discouraged, and unmotivated. This dependence on external validation creates a cycle where emotions fluctuate based on how others perceive them. Those who have emotional control, however, do not need constant reassurance from others. They are secure in themselves, confident in their abilities, and focused on their own path. They do not allow the opinions of others to dictate their emotions or self-esteem. Patience is another key aspect of emotional control. Many people struggle with frustration when things do not happen as quickly as they would like. They become restless, lose motivation, and sometimes give up entirely. Well, they want immediate results, and when they do not see progress right away, they allow disappointment to consume them. But those who master their emotions understand that patience is essential to success. They know that great things take time, that progress is often slow, and that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. They remain steady, committed, and unwavering, regardless of how long it takes to achieve their goals. Emotional control also plays a crucial role in dealing with criticism. Many people take criticism personally, allowing it to damage their confidence and self-belief. They become defensive, discouraged, or even hostile when faced with negative feedback. But those who have emotional control do not react emotionally to criticism. Instead, they evaluate it objectively, taking what is useful and discarding what is not. They do not let the words of others shake their confidence or dictate their path. They remain focused on their own growth, using criticism as a tool for improvement rather than a source of discouragement. The ability to control emotions also leads to better decision making. When emotions cloud judgment, people make choices based on impulse rather than logic. They allow temporary feelings to dictate long-term actions, leading to regret and unnecessary complications. But those who maintain emotional control approach decisions with clarity and rationality. They do not let fleeting emotions push them into choices they will later regret. They think before they act, weighing their options carefully and ensuring that their actions align with their long-term goals. Emotional control is not about suppressing emotions or pretending they do not exist. It is about managing them effectively, understanding their impact, and choosing responses that serve a greater purpose. It requires self-awareness, discipline, and the ability to step back from a situation before reacting. Those who master this skill gain an incredible advantage in life. They navigate challenges with composure, handle stress with ease, and remain unshaken in the face of adversity. Silence is a powerful tool that most people overlook. In a world where everyone is constantly speaking, sharing opinions, and seeking attention, the ability to remain silent is often undervalued. Many believe that being vocal equates to power, influence, or intelligence, but true strength is found in restraint. Silence allows for observation, understanding, and strategic thinking. It is the space where wisdom is developed, where clarity emerges, and where the unnecessary noise of the world fades away. Those who learn to embrace silence gain an advantage because they are not wasting energy on words that serve no purpose. They understand that not everything requires a response, not every battle needs to be fought, and that silence often speaks louder than words. People have a natural tendency to want to fill silence, to speak even when they have nothing meaningful to say. They feel uncomfortable with quiet moments, as if silence is an admission of weakness or uncertainty. But those who understand the power of silence use it as a weapon. They do not feel the need to explain themselves unnecessarily, to defend every action, or to justify their choices to others. They let their actions speak, allowing results to be their response rather than empty words. Silence creates an air of mystery, an unpredictability that makes it difficult for others to read them. This unpredictability gives them an advantage, as people are often more cautious around those they cannot easily understand or manipulate. One of the greatest benefits of silence is that it allows a person to listen. Most people listen only to respond, not to understand. They are eager to speak, to insert their thoughts, to make their opinions known. But in doing so, they miss valuable information. Those who master silence, however, become exceptional listeners. They hear what others overlook, notice details that others ignore, and gain insights that give them an advantage. They listen to both what is said and what is left unsaid, understanding that true meaning is often found between the lines. This ability to observe, process, and analyze information without immediately reacting allows them to make more informed decisions. Silence is also a form of discipline. It requires self-control to remain quiet when provoked, to resist the urge to respond to every criticism, to not engage in meaningless conversations. Many people waste their time and energy arguing, defending themselves against opinions that do not matter, or engaging in debates that lead nowhere. They believe they must always have the last word, that they must prove themselves right. But those who have mastered silence understand that not every comment deserves a response. Not every insult requires retaliation, and not every situation needs their involvement. They choose their battles wisely, conserving their energy for things that actually matter. In moments of tension or conflict, silence holds immense power. When a person does not react immediately, it disrupts the expectations of others. People are accustomed to immediate responses, emotional reactions, and defensive arguments. But when faced with silence, they are forced to reflect on their own words and actions. This often shifts the dynamic, making the silent individual appear more composed, more confident, and more in control. Silence can make others uncomfortable, causing them to reveal more than they intended, to over-explain, or to expose their true intentions. Those who understand this use silence strategically, knowing that sometimes saying nothing at all is the most powerful response. Silence also strengthens personal growth. In solitude and quiet reflection, people gain insight into themselves, their goals, and their direction in life. Many avoid silence because it forces them to confront their thoughts, their insecurities, and their realities. They fill their lives with noise, distractions, entertainment, constant social interactions, so they do not have to face themselves. But those who embrace silence use it as a tool for self-improvement. They spend time alone with their thoughts, analyzing their actions, refining their plans, and ensuring that they are on the right path. In silence, they find clarity, allowing them to move forward with purpose and precision. Another aspect of silence is knowing when to speak. There is a difference between remaining silent out of wisdom and staying silent out of fear. Some people remain quiet because they are afraid to express themselves, but those who understand the power of silence speak when it truly matters. They do not waste words on trivial matters, but when they do choose to speak, their words carry weight. People listen because they have learned that when a person who rarely speaks decides to say something, it is worth hearing. This selective use of speech commands respect and attention, giving greater influence to the words that are spoken. Silence also plays a crucial role in relationships, both personal and professional. Many conflicts escalate because people speak without thinking, saying things in the heat of the moment that they later regret. Those who practice silence take a different approach. They allow themselves time to process emotions before responding, ensuring that their words are measured and intentional. This prevents unnecessary damage, misunderstandings, and regret. It also allows them to maintain control over interactions, steering conversations in a direction that benefits them rather than reacting emotionally and losing control of the situation. Ultimately, silence is a skill that few master, but those who do gain a tremendous advantage. They become better observers, stronger decision makers, and more respected individuals. They understand that words should be used with purpose, that not everything requires a reaction,